There's a real gap opening up right now between people who use AI like a fancy search engine and people who use it to get actual work done while they're asleep. Everyone's talking about AI agents, and it feels like the goalposts moved 100 miles overnight. You just got comfortable using ChatGPT to write an email, and now there's a whole new vocabulary. And part of this problem is actually hype. Every chatbot on the market got rebranded as a revolutionary agent overnight. This phenomenon is called agent washing, and it's created a fog that makes it almost impossible to see what's actually new here. So in this video, I'm going to cut through the fog. There is no code, no APIs, no LangChain, none of that. Just what an agent actually is and what it can do for you. Let's get into it. To really get what an AI agent is, I want you to actually forget about technology for a second. Forget code, algorithms, all of it. Instead, think about something you already understand perfectly. Hiring an employee. Imagine you're running a business and you're swamped with work and decide to hire your first assistant. What do? You don't actually write a script detailing every single mouse click and keystroke they need to make for an entire year, because that would be insane, right? Instead, you give them a goal. You would say something like, your job is to manage my inbox, please organize it, handle common questions, flag anything urgent, and get rid of the junk. You give them an objective, not a rigid step-by-step list of commands. You also need to give them tools. You give them access to your email, your calendar for scheduling, maybe a doc with standard answers to common questions. You wouldn't expect them to do their job without the right tools. Finally, you'd set up a way to communicate and oversee their work. You might say, for the first week, run any important email drafts by me before you send them. After that, we'll check in daily. You give them autonomy, but you have guardrails and feedback loops into play. This whole process, defining a goal, providing tools, and establishing oversight, is exactly how you should think about an AI agent. An AI agent is, for all intents and purposes, a digital employee. You don't tell it how to do something, you tell it what you want to achieve. The big shift is actually moving from giving commands to delegating outcomes. So let's break this down. A chatbot like the ones you've already used is a tool. It's reactive, it waits for you, it does nothing until you type a prompt. An old-school automation tool is like a machine bolted to the floor in a factory. It does one specific task over and over in exactly the same way. If anything unexpected happens, it breaks, because it's rigid. An AI agent is different. It's designed to be proactive and autonomous. It's like that new hire. You give it the goal. Plan a 3-day business trip to Denver for next month, keeping the total cost under $1,500. A chatbot would just answer questions, what flights are there to Denver, what hotels are there in Denver, and you then have to actually do all the work yourself. An AI agent, your digital employee, takes this goal and starts working. It might use a web search tool to check flight prices, then it might access a hotel booking site to find rooms that fit your budget. It could notice that the best flight arrives late and the reason that a hotel near the airport is a better choice for the first night. It takes all this information, creates a potential itinerary, and then based on the rules you've actually set, it presents it to you for approval. It doesn't just talk to you, it does stuff. And this is the single and most important difference. AI agents have a role, they have tools, and they have a goal, and just like any good employee, they can follow instructions and adapt. So how does this digital employee actually think and act without a human pulling the strings? It can seem like magic, but it's based on a surprisingly simple loop. Almost every AI agent operates on a fundamental cycle. They perceive, they reason, and then they act. And this is the basic operating system for an agent. Let's stick with our digital employee and give it a task. Find the top 5 new competitors in the organic coffee market that have launched in the last 6 months, summarize their marketing, and create a report. So this is just a simple use case, so let's see what an agent would actually do. So first, what the agent does is actually perceives the goal by reading your instruction. Its brain, that is actually powered by a large language model or LLM like the one in ChatGPT or Claude, starts to actually reason. It breaks your big goal down into smaller and concrete steps. And this actually isn't a pre-written script, it's a dynamic plan. It might think, first I'll search for definitions of organic coffee market to make sure that I'm on the right track. Next, I need to look for press releases and news about coffee companies that were launched in the last 6 months, for example. Then it might think, for each company I find, I'll check out their website and social media to see if they fit the organic profile. And once I actually have a list of 5, I'll analyze their marketing, like ad campaigns, social media posts, blog posts, YouTube videos, and stuff like that. After it gets all this information, it will put it in a structured report and it will be actually able to share it with you. And this ability to actually plan and self-correct is what makes an agent feel intelligent. If a search doesn't work, the agent can infer that his query was bad and try another. A simple automation would just simply fail, and the agent actually adapts and tries other ways to actually reach the goal. But there is a catch though, and you should hold on to this because the more steps an agent chains together, the more chances it has to go wrong. And one bad step early on can cascade through the whole task, and that's the single biggest challenge with agents basically. And it's exactly what you have to plan for. So a plan is useless if you cannot act on it. This is where the agent's hands come in. Agents are actually given access to a toolkit, a set of digital tools they can use to interact with the world. These are connections to other software and platforms, often through APIs. And for our competitor analysis use case, the agent's toolkit might include a web search tool to run the Google searches as planned, a web browser tool to navigate to a competitor's website and read its content, a file system tool to be able to actually save its findings and create a final report, an email tool to actually send you the final report once it gets your okay. The agent follows its plan, picks the right tool for each step, and gets to work. And the action of using a tool is the key difference between an agent and a chatbot. A chatbot can tell you about competitors, an agent can find them and actually write the report for you. Agents have a memory to track down what they're doing, and this typically comes in 2 flavors. There's a short-term memory or a scratchpad. As the agent works, it keeps a scratchpad of what it has done and learned. When it finds a competitor in our use case, it writes that down, and this prevents it from repeating work that it already done and helps it keep track of a complex task. It's like its own to-do list and set of notes. And there is also the long-term memory, and this is where agents can become truly personalized. It's less that the agent learns on its own and more that you give it a permanent set of instructions or a knowledge base to refer to. You should think of it like a style guide basically. So you could tell it we are a premium brand, so always ignore competitors that focus on discounting price. The agent can store this rule and use it in all future tasks, just like a human assistant who knows your preferences. So how does the full loop actually look like? Well, the agent perceives the goal, its brain reasons and plans, it uses its hands or tools to actually act, it observes the result and writes it to its memory, then the loop begins again until the goal is actually achieved. And the best part about this, you don't actually need to be a coder to set this up anymore. While this is not a magic button, the era of no-code and low-code AI platforms is making this far more accessible because they allow you to define goals, connect tools, and set up your agent's memory with visual interfaces using plain English. It's becoming less like programming and more like writing a very detailed job description. By the way, if you find this useful, please like the video and subscribe. It helps more than you think. So now there is a shift happening, you stop doing and you start actually delegating the work to a software agent. And this can help you in various scenarios. Think about your personal life. Planning a family vacation can feel like a part-time job spread across a dozen browser tabs. An AI agent, given the goal like plan a 7-day family-friendly vacation to Costa Rica, can do the grunt work for you. It can research flights, find highly rated eco lodges, draft a day-by-day itinerary, and present you with 2 or 3 complete packages to choose from. It doesn't actually eliminate your choice, it eliminates the hours of tedious labor required to get to that particular choice. And of course, you can apply everything else to your business as well, because this is where the revolution could really take hold. For years, scaling a business meant scaling your headcount. More customers meant more support staff. More leads meant more salespeople. And AI agents actually challenge this linear model. And this happens everywhere, right? So if you imagine customer support, a query like my order arrived damaged, what to do could trigger an agent. It could look up the order, check your return policy, generate a shipping label, draft an email to the customer. If the issue is too complex for the agent, it doesn't just fail, it actually escalates the ticket to a human, but not before summarizing the entire case and pulling up all the relevant data. And the human agent will step in at the highest point of value, not in the beginning when he needs to do back and forth with the customer. Now, if you think of a sales team, instead of manually digging for leads, an agent could be tasked with every morning find newly funded tech startups, identify their head of growth, research company news, and other things like that to get more info in that particular companies. And this is not just actually saving time, it's creating incredible leverage because it allows salespeople to focus on building relationship instead of data entry. So should everybody become a programmer just to, be better in the AI agent space? Well, of course not, because the value you have will actually come from your ability to define goals, design workflows, and strategically deploy agents to execute those particular workflows. And the most successful people will be those who master the art of delegation to AI, building a personal operating system of agents that handle the work for them, freeing them up for high value, strategic, and creative endeavors. Our interaction with technology is changing. We are moving from a world where we had to actually learn the language of machines to a world where machines are finally learning the language of us. The people who thrive here won't be the ones with the cleverest prompts. They'll be the ones who can look at a process, define a clear objective, and build a system of agents to run it safely. And safe is the keyword. Remember what I said about reliability dropping as the steps pile up? Agents will fail, that's not a maybe. The goal was never to build an agent that never fails, is to make sure that when one does, the damage is contained and you can see exactly what has happened. That means you need a way to actually govern your agents, set guardrails, and watch what they're doing. You need a platform for that, and I have one for you, and that's Lens Agents. By the way, I work at Lens, so take my opinion with a grain of salt, but I genuinely believe that we are building something actually awesome. I have a video in the description that walks through a webinar that shows the platform in action if you want to take a look. Now, one last thing, you are not behind. By taking the time to understand this shift, you are actually ahead of the curve right now. You have the framework to see the world not as a series of manual tasks, but as a series of processes to be automated. And when you're finding something to automate, start small. Identify one repetitive task in your week, the report you do every Friday, sorting through new leads, or even the chore of scheduling meetings. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching this, and I'll see you in the next one.